Hello children. In the last class, I completed the first kingdom, that is Kingdom Monera, and now I am going to start the second kingdom, that is Kingdom Protesta. Kingdom Protesta, it includes very familiar organisms. See, amoeba is there, paramecium is there, diatoms are there, dinoflagellates are there, slime molds. So these are all like very well-known organisms, and this Kingdom Protesta, it includes all the unicellular eukaryotic organisms. That means, I hope you remember in the Monera itself, I told what is the difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic organisms. The organisms which consisting of nucleus, which is covered by nuclear membrane. That means because it is having a boundary line around it, you can be able to clearly identify this is nucleus. So then that is called as eukaryotic organism or eukaryotic cell. Whereas if you take Monera, it consisting of genetic material, but genetic material, it is not covered by any cell membrane. I'm sorry, I'm extremely sorry, by any nuclear membrane. So nuclear membrane is absent. That's why this genetic material, it freely scatters in the cytoplasm. That means it don't have a fixed position, whereas our genetic material, I'm talking our means we are all eukaryotic organisms. So in our cells, the genetic material, it is restricted to a particular area because it is covered by the nuclear membrane. A very simple way, a very easy way, I'll tell you. Let us take some what I call woolen thread. Now if you take this woolen thread, if you throw this woolen thread on the what I call floor, then it gets scattered on the floor. Now instead of throwing like that, you have taken a small stick, around it you started wrapping it, then it forms a shape of a ball. Now both are woolen threads only, but in the first example the woolen thread is scattered and occupied throughout the floor, whereas here, because you have taken a small stick and you started wrapping around it, it acquired a shape, because it got a shape because you properly arranged it. Hope you understood. That is the genetic material organization. In prokaryotes, it is scattered because it is not covered by any nuclear membrane, whereas in eukaryotes, it is restricted to a particular zone because it is covered by the nuclear membrane. So this is a difference between eukaryotic cell and prokaryotic cell. Now, all these unicellular, in the name itself, I need not to explain. Uni means a single, cellular, that means having cell. That means all these organisms, they consisting of only one cell. That means pura body, complete body, it is made up of only one cell. And that cells are eukaryotic. That means they consisting of true nucleus. So unicellular eukaryotic organisms are included under Protista. Hope you understood, students. Still, if you have any confusions, you can definitely ask me, and many students are asking also. And this word Protista, you are calling a Kingdom Protesta, you are calling this Protesta name that was given by Ernst Haeckel. So Ernst Haeckel is a scientist who gave this word Protesta. And very important point I'm telling you, you have to remember this point. Protesta, it somehow it shows some characteristics that are resembling Monera also, and somehow it shows some characteristics which are resembling fungi, plantae, and animalia. Hope you remember five kingdom classification. Again, just as a recap, I'm going to tell you five kingdom classification. It includes five kingdoms. The first kingdom is Kingdom Monera, second kingdom is Kingdom Protesta, and the third kingdom is Kingdom Fungi, and the fourth kingdom is Kingdom Plantae, and the fifth kingdom is Kingdom Animalia. You remember this na? In the beginning of this biological classification, I clearly explained it. Now, according to the position wise, Protesta, it is present between prokaryotes, that means Monera, to the eukaryotes. Did you notice it? This is the second kingdom. पहले kingdom क्या है? Kingdom Monera. So kingdom Monera, it includes all the प्रोकैरियोट्स. नाउ थर्ड किंगडम क्या है? फंगाई. फोर्थ किंगडम क्या है? प्लांट. फिफ्थ किंगडम क्या है? एनिमेलिया. नाउ did you see it is present between, that means protista, it is present between the eukaryotes, prokaryotes and eukaryotes. आपको समझ में आया ना? So that is the reason why it is showing few characteristics which is resembling monera, and few characteristics which are resembling this fungi, plantae and animalia. That is the reason why this kingdom protista, it is called as connecting link. It is connecting the prokaryotic monera to the eukaryotic fungi, plantae and animalia. So this is the meaning of connecting link. So the group of organisms which is showing the resemblances of two other kingdoms, then that is called as a connecting link. Sir, how we will explain this in a very detailed way in the future classes. Today I will restrict myself to explain only characteristic features. That means I will give you proper introduction, and tomorrow onwards I am going to explain about classification of protista. Then you will understand very clearly why it is called as connecting link. But yaad rakh, it is showing resemblances one way with prokaryotes, the other way with the eukaryotes also. That's why it is called as connecting link. But still, if you don't understand, you just need not to worry. Tomorrow is a classification of protista. In that, very clearly you will understand this point. Now let us take some general characters of protista. That means this protista group of organisms, they show certain characteristics. Now what are that characteristics? I am going to explain. The first characteristic, and very important, that means the first characteristic only, very important characteristic. What is that? Protists are mostly aquatic. What is the meaning of aquatic? The organisms which live in water, they are called as aquatic. Let us take, we are all organisms, we are all human beings, we are living on the land, so we are called as terrestrial. Now let us take this what you call birds are there. These birds mostly they will spend their lifetime in flying. That's why they are called as aerial, not surfaxal, it is aerial. Okay, so it is aerial. Like that, the organisms wherever they are mostly spending their life, then that according to that the name is given. For example, protista, mostly they spend their life in water, so aquatic. We are the organisms mostly spend our lifetime on the land, that's why we are called as terrestrial. And if you take what you call this birds, they mostly spend their life in flying, that means in the air, that's why it is called as aerial. Hope you understood. So protista are aquatic, and mostly they are free living. That means they live independently, they don't depend upon others. But there are some parasites. Hope you know what is the meaning of parasites. They depends upon the host organism, and they cause a certain diseases. So there are certain parasites also, but I am talking about most of the parasites. They are, I'm sorry, most of the protists are free living. Hope you understood the first point. And first point you have to remember, because what is the habitat of protists? This question it is already asked, so you need to remember this. Okay, whereas the body, that means the cell, it may be naked. What is the meaning of naked? It is not covered by any cell wall, then that is called as naked. Whereas if it is covered by cell wall, sometimes there are certain protists which is covered by cell wall also. If it is covered by cell wall, and then that cell wall, it is made up of cellulose. Hope you know now what is cellulose. Even the plants, their cells are also made up of cellulose only. It is a polysaccharide. What is cellulose? Cellulose is nothing but a polysaccharide. Hope you know this, but still I am telling you, because the one who don't know also they can understand. Again I am telling you, basically the cells, sometimes they are naked, or sometimes they are covered by the cell wall. If cell wall is present, then the cell wall, it is made up of cellulose. Hope you understood the second point, second characteristic actually. Now the cytoplasm, inside the cell what will be there? Cytoplasm is there. Cytoplasm, it consisting of all the cell organelles. No, now you try to recollect monera. Monera is a prokaryote. So in prokaryote, no cell organelle is present, no endoplasmic reticulum, no mitochondria, no plastids, no Golgi complex, no lysosomes, no vacuoles. But Here you can be able to see endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, plastids, Golgi complex, etc., etc. Everything, all the cell organelles can be seen in the protista cell because it is a eukaryotic, whereas monera में ये सब नहीं रहेगा because that is a prokaryotic cell. Hope you understood what is the difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. Now again go back to monera. Monera being a prokaryote, it consisting of 70s type of ribosomes, whereas up इधर देख रहे हैं ना, here 80s type of ribosomes are present. So ribosomes, very primitive type, very less developed type of ribosomes are present in prokaryotes because its organization wise it is very less, whereas prokaryote is an eukaryotic cell. Now you compare prokaryotic cell with eukaryotic cell, which one is more advanced? Obviously 101% eukaryotic cell is more advanced, more developed when you compare it to prokaryotic cell. That's why our cells, they consisting of 80s ribosomes, whereas the prokaryotic cells, they consisting of 70s type of ribosomes. Hope you understood the fourth characteristic of the kingdom protista. Now very important point I'm telling you, very clearly seen, well defined, prominent nucleus it is present in the eukaryotic cell. That means protista is eukaryotic, so obviously by default it consisting of prominent nucleus. Now you compare this point with monera, that means bacteria. In bacteria can you be able to see a prominent nucleus? No, only genetic material is there. That too, it is also not having any position because it is not covered by a nuclear membrane. Whereas if you take protista, the cells are covered, I'm sorry, the genetic material is covered by the nuclear membrane, so that nucleus can be identified as a nucleus so clearly. So this is a very important point. Whereas one tricky point is there, what you know, some protists, they consisting of more than one nucleus, because basically by default one cell it consisting of one nucleus, that every one of us know. But there are certain protists, if you want I'll tell you the example also. Let us take paramecium. Every one of us know what is paramecium. So paramecium, आप ऑब्जर्व किया, आप नोटिस किया, इट कंसिस्टिंग ऑफ टू न्यूक्लियस. एक बड़ा न्यूक्लियस विच इज कॉल्ड एज मैक्रो न्यूक्लियस, वेयर एक छोटा न्यूक्लियस रहेगा दैट इज कॉल्ड एज माइक्रो न्यूक्लियस. दैट मीन्स सेम ऑर्गेनिज्म, बट सेम ऑर्गेनिज्म इट कंसिस्टिंग ऑफ टू न्यूक्लियस. Hope you remember this. Try to recollect paramecium. You must have read this paramecium in your lower classes, na, in your 9th class or 8th class, or somewhere in the 10th class. So in protista, nucleus is present, whereas some organisms, some protists, they consisting of more than one nucleus. Example also I just told you now. Now the next characteristic is protists show various modes of nutrition. अलग अलग तरीका से खाना खाते हैं. कैसे? I brought some examples. Some are photosynthetic, that means they prepare their own food material, then they are called as autotrophic. And autotrophic may, which autotrophic? They are photosynthetic, that means they utilize the what I call sunlight as a source of energy and prepare their own food material. And the best examples are dinoflagellates, diatoms, and euglenoids. So these three are the best examples for photosynthetic. Now holozoic, and there are certain protozoans like amoeba and paramecium, they are holozoic. And saprobic, students, many times I told you what is the meaning of photosynthetic, holozoic and saprobic. You must know, you must what I call understood by this time. Saprobic basically means which depends upon the dead and decaying organic matter, and the best examples is slime molds. And parasitic, that means which depends upon the host and creates certain diseases. And the examples are trypanosoma, giardia, plasmodium, and entamoeba. So these are plasmodium, आपको पता है ना, plasmodium सबको पता है. Plasmodium it causes malaria, and entamoeba it causes diarrhea. Now mixotrophic, and mixotrophic means they can be photosynthetic or they can be what I call heterotrophic also. That's why mixotrophic means sometimes it can prepare its own food material, sometimes it becomes lazy and mujhe I can't be able to prepare. Sometimes you also do that na. Sometimes if you have energy you will cook for yourself. So if you don't have energy or thoda like I'm feeling little lazy, then you will go to restaurant and you will order your food, है ना. like that. Mixotrophic means sometimes it can be able to prepare its own food material, whereas sometimes when it is a little feeling lazy, then it depends upon others for its food material. That's why it is called as a mixotrophic. Whereas symbiotic, where is the meaning of symbiotic? गिव एंड टेक पॉलिसी, मैं आपको ये देता है मुझे वापस कुछ तो दे दो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं आपको लड्डू देता है मुझे गुलाब जामुन दे दो, देन दैट इज कॉल्ड, दैट मीन्स we are exchanging equally, that means we are benefited equally, then that is called as symbiotic. And the best example are zooflagellates like trichonympha and lophomonas. So these are the best examples. And pinocytosis, what is the meaning of pinocytosis? See, ability of an organism to absorb the soluble organic substances, that means the food, it is present in the solid the liquid state, soluble state. Now if the organism is having ability to absorb the food material in the soluble matter, soluble state, then that ability it is called as pinocytosis. The best example is amoeba. Amoeba, did you notice it? Twice, holozoic and also pinocyte. That means amoeba has ability to become holozoic also and also pinocytic also. So these are some what I call modes of nutrition exhibited by the organisms of protists. Now let us take some more characteristics. Most of the protists are aerobic. Hope you know. I already clearly explained what is the meaning of aerobic. The organism which is taking a respiration in the presence of oxygen, then that type of organisms are aerobic. Some organisms are there, in the absence of oxygen they will take respiration, then that is called as anaerobic. Aerobic and anaerobic. Aerobic in the presence of oxygen, anaerobic in the absence of oxygen. Okay, most of the protists are aerobic only, that means they can be able to respire in the presence of oxygen only. But there are some protists which are living in the bottom level, in the bottom completely like deeper layers of the water. That protists, they cannot be able to respire aerobically, then they takes respiration anaerobically. That means because they are living very deep in the water, because इतना deep में ऑक्सीजन अवेलेबिलिटी थोड़ा कम हो जाएगा ना, इसलिए they respire anaerobically. Hope you understood. If you don't understand, immediately ask me, I'll definitely answer you. Okay. And locomotion, hope you know what is the meaning of locomotion. Moving from one place to another place, then that is called as locomotion. Don't compare locomotion with movement. Movement, it is completely different from locomotion. Movement means, for example, I am teaching you now na, beach mein I need some pen, then I'll turn myself and I will take the pen, है ना. That means movement means within the same place you are responding towards something, then that is called as movement. Let us take, I'll tell you very clearly, let us take plant. Plant, it do not show locomotion, but plant can be able to show movement. Okay, say now you take a small plant and you keep it under shade, then what happens, you know, it bends towards the light. That means wherever the light it is available, it bend itself to trap the sunlight, but it is not moving from the area where dark is present to the area where the light is available, है ना. Hope you understood. That is called movement. Locomotion means what? Moving from one place to another place. For example, one last bench mein ek boy is sitting, I asked him to bring your homework, then what he will do, he will get up all the way from the last bench, and where usually I'll stand near the podium, near the board, so all the way he walked from the last bench to the podium, that means where the board is present, and then he will show the homework. That means he moved from one place to another place, then that is called as a locomotion. Whereas for example, you are listening to the lecture, your mother called me, then you immediately, ha mama main aa rahi hai, that means within the same place you will tell, you will respond towards your mother's voice, then that is called as movement. Hope you understood what is movement and locomotion. Now, locomotion के लिए Protestants, they develop various types of structures. What are they? Pseudopodia. What is the meaning of pseudo? Pseudo means false. Poda means foot. False foot जैसे. That means it looks like foot, but it is not foot. So pseudopodia. The best example is amoeba. Amoeba में you can be able to clearly see this pseudopodia. And cilia. Cilia means small hair-like structures that are present around the body of an organism. They are called as cilia. that can be seen in paramecium. And wriggling, you know, hope you know na, wriggling basically means आप देखो एक worm like a caterpillar, एक caterpillar कैसे walk करते हैं, जिग जैग है ना, that movement, that type of movement, worm like movement, okay, this you understand. एक caterpillar, butterfly का caterpillar होता है ना, that caterpillar कैसे move हो रही है, the same movement it is called as a wriggling movement. Hope you understood. And the wriggling movement, it is observed by this sporozoans and also some non-flagellates. Students, don't worry about all these examples I am going to explain in the classification, so you need not to worry. How animal kingdom mein many examples has come like that, I am going to explain all these examples, so you don't need to worry, okay. And mucilage propulsions, what is the meaning of mucilage propulsion? Never you heard na, I will tell you. Just by extending its protoplasm, that means थोड़ा volume बढ़ जाएगा. Please understand, organism है ना, let us take amoeba is there, or diatom is there. Now diatom volume थोड़ा बढ़ जाएगा, and then it again decreases its volume of the body, like that, by increasing and decreasing of the protoplasm, what I call content of the body, it moves from one place to another place. Very slow movement, very slow movement, because इट इज यूनिसेलर ऑर्गेनिज्म. यूनिसेलर ऑर्गेनिज्म कितना प्रोटोप्लाज्म रहेगा, आधा चम्मच भी नहीं रहेगा, टू बी फ्रैंक पाव चम्मच भी नहीं रहेगा, एक बूंद है ना, आधा बूंद है ना, इतना प्रोटोप्लाज्म से हाउ इट कैन बी एबल टू मूव फ्रॉम दिस पुणे टू चेन्नई, सो इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल ना. सो this mucilage propulsions means thoda movement, like considerably from one place to another place, very slowly it can move, then that is called as mucilage propulsion. And the example is diatoms. And protists, they show both asexual reproduction also, sexual reproduction also, that means based on the what I call favorable conditions. So both asexual and also sexual reproductions can be seen in protista. Now these are the various characteristic properties, characteristic features of kingdom protista. Now what are asexual and sexual, we will see. Asexual reproduction, mostly protist, they go for the asexual reproduction only, but if the conditions are fine, then only it will go to sexual reproduction, but mostly it opt for asexual reproduction only. And that's why I mentioned also here, you can see now, most common method in protista. Now in asexual reproduction, it takes place by either binary fission or spore formation. Binary fission matlab, one parent individual is there. The parent individual, whenever it wanted to participate in reproduction, by itself only it cuts itself to produce two daughter individuals. Then that is called as binary fission. The best examples are euglenoids, chrysophytes and dinoflagellates. That paramecium, euglena, these are all best examples for binary fission. नाउ स्पोर फॉर्मेशन मतलब सुनो, थोड़ा थोड़ा ध्यान से सुनो, व्हाट एम आई टेलिंग. दिस प्रोटिस्ट दे डेवलप देयर बॉडी है ना, देयर बॉडी इज देयर, देयर बॉडी का ऊपर दे डेवलप ए स्पेशल सैक लाइक स्ट्रक्चर. अगेन अगेन आई एम टेलिंग यू, उसको बॉडी है, द बॉडी का ऊपर एक sac like structure will be produced, and that special sac like structure, it is called as sporangia. In that special sac like structure, the spores are formed. Once the spores are formed, that sac like structure which is developed on the body of the protista, it bursts, so that all the spores will come out. And these spores which came out, they will spread by wind or water, whatever, understanding, or some animals or some birds, whatever the mode of transmission it may be, it reaches to various places and grow into individual protist. Then that is called as spore formation, or you can call it as a sporulation. Both meaning is same. When meaning is same, what if you use, what makes the difference? So sporulation you write, आपको which is comfortable, that you write sporulation is comfortable, then you write sporulation. No, spore formation is comfortable, then you write spore formation. So words का बारे में इतना चिंता मत लो, okay. Whereas the example is what I call slime molds. Now, sexual reproduction by syngamy. Hope you know what is syngamy, but still I'll tell, because you need to understand clearly. Syngamy means the fusion between male and female gametes. If, for example, let us take human beings. In human beings, male parent, that means father produces sperm and mother produces ova. and at the time of fertilization the sperm it reaches the ova so that the zygote is formed. Like that, if the fusion of gametes are taking place, then that is called as syngamy. Now, this is syngamy. It takes place in three ways. How? The first one is isogamy, next one is anisogamy, and the next one is oogamy. Let us take one after one. Isogamy means male it is producing its gamete and female also producing its gamete. Dono they looks exactly similar morphologically. Hope you know what is the meaning of morphologically. Morphologically means what I call they look similar. That means external features ka bare mein if you see, then both looks similar. For example, Surya what I call Suryavamsham cinema is there na, in that what I call father is also Amitabh Bachchan and even that son is also Amitabh Bachchan. Good sequel nahi aaya. What I call the grandson and grandson also maybe Amitabh Bachchan hoga, but just example ke liye main bol rahe. That means they look similar. They look similar but they work similar. See, very simple. The male gamete it is consisting of the properties of the male organism, and female gamete she is having it is having the properties of the female. Hana. That means they look similar but they are not physiologically similar. What is the meaning physiology? I used a new word. The way they function, they are not similar. That means they are looking similar. Let us take some twins are there. Now both are twins, they are looking same, but one twin he may like some to have some sweet and he is having his own idea, he wanted to become a doctor. The other twin he don't like sweets, he wanted to take some spicy items and he wanted to become engineer. That means they are looking similar but their way of working, their interests and their way of life it won't be similar. So they are looking similar, that's why they are called as isogametes. Iso means same gametes. That means they look like same, that's why isogametes. But physiologically anisogametes. What do you mean physiologically? When they are functioning they are not similar in their functioning, that's why physiologically anisogametes. Students, I think I gave a very convincing explanation for this, but still somewhere if you get any confusion immediately you can ask me, I will definitely clarify you. But again safety ke liye I am telling you once again, isogamy means the fusion between similar male and female gametes. That means this male gamete and also female gametes they look similarly but functionally they are dissimilar, that's why they are called as isogametes. And physiologically anisogametes, that means they are looking same but their properties are not same. Like that, if the gametes which are looking similarly if they are fusing, then that is called as isogamy. Now, anisogamy in the name itself, again I need not to tell. An isogamy. An means not. Iso means same. Not same. Gamy means fusion. Fusion between not same gametes. That means male it produces one type of gamete and female. Let us take human beings only. Male produces, that means father produces what, sperm, and female produces, that means mother produces this ova. Ova and this sperm they are not at all same, then that is called as anisogamy. What is oogamy? Oogamy is very very important and tricky also. That means देखो, male produces one gamete and female produces one gamete, है ना? Now female producing gamete na that stay in the female body only, whereas if fertilization wanted to take place, the male gamete need to travel and then it reaches the female and then fusion takes place. That means out of two gametes, that means male and female gametes, one gamete it show motility to reach the other gamete. The other gamete, that means female gamete, never move. Then this is called as oogamy. Hope you understood now. Again I'll tell you a short recap I can say. Now male and female gametes. Okay, female gamete wherever it is produced it will be there in the body of the female only. That means it cannot be able to move. Whereas the other male gamete it can be able to move so that it reaches the female gamete. That means one is motile, the other one is non-motile. Male one is motile gamete and female one is what I call non-motile. Let us take human beings only example. Human beings may the female gamete ova it is present in the body of the female itself, whereas the male gamete it is movable. That's why the spermatozoa it reaches this particular female gamete and fertilization takes place. So our human body is an example for this oogamy. Hope you understood, students. So these are all the various general characteristic properties of kingdom protista. Hope you understood all the characteristic features. One thing you need to remember, इफ यू डोंट अंडरस्टैंड द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स, आगे क्लासिफिकेशन आपको समझ में नहीं आएगा. सो एनी सिंगल डाउट, स्मॉल डाउट, देर इज नो डाउट्स में बिग डाउट स्मॉल डाउट्स कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं होते. डाउट इज अ डाउट, यू डिड नॉट अंडरस्टैंड, सो यू कैन आस्क एनी डाउट. ओके, थैंक यू सो मच. एंड टुमारो आई विल come up with one more topic, that is classification of protista. Thank you so much.